Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Chris Hoare, PSW, standing for Personal Support Worker, taking care of your elderly in long-term care and community care. And well, as you can tell, I'm just heading to work. Gotta work my last one, which is on today, Friday. But you know what? I want to make this video for you guys because you know what, sometimes people need to hear it. Need to hear it. Need to hear some positivity in their life. And you know, if you're waking up and you're just seeing this video, I'm hoping you guys get something out of it. To realize that, you know what? If you're waking up every day and you're trying, keep trying. Keep pushing through. You know what? Don't worry about the negativity and the people that doubt you. You know what? You just keep going, and you keep moving forward, and you keep hustling, and you keep doing what you're doing. I've heard that when people were saying about this channel, and I heard it over and over again about, you know, that I wouldn't get 1 subscriber, and now we're over like 1,300 subscribers. And we're halfway point to the watch time hours of 3,000 for full monetization of the channel. And it's not because of me. I made the channel, but it's because you guys out there are supporting me. And I feel so blessed that I have to make this video for you guys that are out there supporting me, and to say thank you. Thank you to the people that support this channel. You know, we're showing the doubters that, listen, if you're just out there and you're putting videos out there and you're, you know, doing your thing each day, I think you can see results. But you got to put the work in, guys. You got to put the work in. Now, I'm not a big channel. I'm not a big YouTube channel like some of these YouTube channels that are out there. I'm a little channel. But you know what? It just shows you that if you put your mind to something, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You just got to dedicate yourself, commit yourself, discipline yourself, and just wake up and, you know, try as hard as you can. And, you know, success is around the corner. You know, I love to see people out there, you know, doing their thing and working hard and having success. You know, I have lots of people on my channel and supporters that are big channels, and love watching them when I'm at you know, getting ready for bed, and I stay up, and, you know, there's many channels that I watch, and I just, you know, I smile and think, man, these people are, you know, just slinging it each day, you know, with their channel and working their ass off, and you can see the results. Now, I'm going to give full credit. I'm actually going to give me full credit for this, you know, to my martial arts of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I keep, you know, lots of my videos, I keep going back to that. And, you know, I tell you, it's a blessing, you know, doing martial arts, because it has taught me one thing. It has kept me humble. It has kept me level-headed, to realize that I'm not better than anybody else. I'm not better than anyone else. I'm like equal. to everyone else. But if you put some hard work in and you stick with it, results will happen. And and that's what's happened, doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is the fact of that, like I say, some days I am the hammer and some days I'm the nail. And there's times where I am just the nail, and I'm just getting beat up and beat up and beat up. But you know what? You wipe yourself off and you just realize when you go home, hey, I was a nail today. And I think that's just like with this channel. You know what? I'm always going to get the naysayers and the people that are just like la-di-da-di-da. And you just brush that off. And hopefully I can teach my children that as well. You know what? Life's not easy, guys. It's not. And hopefully you guys that watch these videos take something from these videos and realize that, if life were easy, everybody would be like just slinging it. But it's not, right? It's hard. Life is hard. But life is also how you make it each day. And I'm always talking about that, like how each day you wake up, it's a blessing. Each day your eyes are open, it's a blessing. If you have food in your fridge, it's a blessing. You got a roof over your head, it's a blessing. I'm going to work, that's a blessing. We have so many blessings, and we should be blessed each day and say thank you to God for our blessings. And I say that each day. Thank you, God. Thank you for the sunsets, because I'm looking, or sunrise here, because I'm looking at the sun rising, sunset. And realize how blessed I really am. You know what? I woke up this morning and I looked on the channel and I was like, man, 1,312 watch time hours. Wow. Like, multiple people have watched my channel 1,312 hours. That's crazy. But it shows me that, like, it makes me more determined to just keep going and realizing that, you know what, there's people out there that actually watch my material and actually appreciate my channel, and that's a blessing in itself. I feel really, really blessed that that's able to happen. I mean, I was just shocked this morning, and there's just no words of gratitude. I'm very humbled. But I just, keep moving forward. And little by little, day by day, we're just slinging it. And, maybe one day it'll click, and, who knows? I always say to myself that if you don't try, how do you know, right? Like, if you don't give it a shot and put yourself out there, how do you know? Like, I never want to be this guy that we're going to have regrets. I don't want to be a regret guy, because if tomorrow doesn't come and that's the end, and God decides that's the end, and your eyes don't open the next day, and that's it, and God has another purpose for me, I can look back and say I accomplished quite a bit. Turning 50 this year, I've accomplished quite a bit. Running a full marathon, that was a huge thing for me. Determined to, run 26 miles. And how was I going to figure that out? I never had any background training in running. I was never a runner, right? But it was a goal of mine to say, hey, can somebody run a marathon off the couch? And that's what I thought. Like, I was downstairs watching TV one day, and this was when I was turning 40, and I said to myself, what can I give myself at 40? You know, a 40th birthday present. What can I give myself? And I thought, you know, the ultimate birthday present would be like running a marathon. Now, for many people, that's crazy. And some people are like, no, that's not really. But for me, it was like, how could I do it? And I've always been like that. I've always been that kind of person to say, how do we figure that out? How do we figure on how to do it? And then I realized, okay, well, you know, so I started running with a local running club in my hometown and got the mileage in. And then I said, you know, I'm going to sign up. And, you know, I did. I signed up and ran the marathon. And then I signed up and ran the half, which normally they say you're supposed to run the half first and then, you know, run the full, but I did it the opposite way around, and I ran the full, and then I decided to run the half. So, and then I realized, like, there was other things that I wanted to accomplish, because life is just way too short, and I say that in lots of my videos as well, about how, you know, life is way too short and we shouldn't take life for granted. And I said I was always interested in combat sports, and, you know, my son wanted to join this, you know, combat gym, and, you know, he needed a little encouragement. So I was like, hey, you know, the type of dad I am, you know, encourage your children to succeed and do everything good that they can do in their life. So I joined this gym as a dad, just to show, you know, our son that, hey, if dad can do it, you can do it too. And then I just stuck with it and realized that it was something I liked to do. So then I started boxing. And then it was like, okay, well, you know, how can you get registered as a boxer and get inside the ring? And then, you know, I talked to my coach, and he's like, which is a great guy, a huge mentor to me. And I was like, how can I get registered? And he was like, well, you train and I'll register you if that's what you want to do. And then, you know, I got my first fight inside the ring. It didn't go as planned. My first loss, I hung in there, and then I was like, let's do it again. I mean, you because life is like that, right? Life is gonna knock you down, and you got to get yourself back up. It's gonna knock you down, and then you got to get yourself back up. I mean, I so believe that, and I'll keep saying that. You know what? Life will throw you like a million curveballs, and it's kind of like it's God's way of saying, hey, so how are you going to figure it out? How are you going to figure it out? And then I realized, okay, well, you know what? I got one loss. I'm going to do it again. And then I found another fight, got inside there, and got my first win. And then I was like, of course, you know, when you get your first win, you get that confidence, which, I mean, like in anything in life, you know, confidence, that's good. Confidence is what you need. And then, you know, I was like, okay, well, there's a tournament coming up, and, you know, let's do the tournament. And I did, and I did really well in the tournament, got to the gold medal match. And then I was like, okay, well, that's enough of that. 5 fights, 3-2, that's enough. I mean, you know, I did what I had to do. And then I was like, well, I like to train and I like combat sports. So the local gym that I belonged to had Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I was like, okay, you know, probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because it's not easy. You know, it's not easy at all. And just like anything, I'm the type of person that I want to figure it out. I want to figure out things in life that are hard. And I don't want to be the back burner type of guy to just, you know, just go through the punches and the rolls of life. I want to experience life, and I want to, you know, be a part of life. And if things are hard, let's just do it. And then I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and, you know, just keep showing up, because that's what my coach says. The only time that you're going to learn is if you keep showing up. And I just kept showing up, and, you know, finally got my blue belt, and which was just like a huge honor for myself, you know, to wrap that thing around your waist, because, you know, not many people, you know, get that opportunity to have a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then I got one stripe on my belt. So, I mean, hopefully you guys realize that every day is a blessing. Every day is a huge blessing. And, you know, you got to have that mindset in the back of your head, positivity. You know, how is the day going to go? Nobody knows. And, you know, if those days are crappy, and this is for anybody to take this advice, and hopefully you guys who are watching this right now take this advice, that, you know, every day is going to be different. You know, every day is going to throw you something different, and you got to work through it. You're going to have to work through it and figure it out, and realize that, you know, once the day is over, and if you succeeded, then, you know, that's a huge blessing. That's just a huge blessing. And it's saying, you know what, it's applauding you about succeeding that day. And then, you know, you do it all over again. And if your eyes are open, God gave you another chance to do it all over again. So anyways, guys, hopefully you guys take something from these videos, you know, and a lot of my videos are about laughter, and, you know, because laughter is huge. You need to smile and just laugh at things when things get difficult, because if you don't, things will just tear you apart and hold you down. So I use laughter lots, because, I mean, if you don't laugh at life, then, you know, who knows? But anyways, guys, until next time, you know, Chris Howard, PSW, Center for Personal Health Support Worker, taking care of your elderly in long-term care and community care for the last 20 years, which is a huge blessing as well. I feel honored and blessed to take care of people who, you know, have been on this earth 80, 90, you know, in 100 years. And I feel honored. So anyways, guys, until next time, cheers.